You good? Alright. Welcome back to the wild. It's Cypress, and today we're in my kitchen. We are here to make cookies, specifically gingerbread. I have never in my life had a gingerbread cookie. The one time we did make gingerbread houses, we used graham crackers and pasted them with frosting against a milk carton. Not very satisfying. We are getting to the time of the year where everybody is getting all excited about pumpkin spice lattes. I've never understood coffee. I don't get drinking something that tastes like dirt. I mean, if you like it, you do you. Totally cool. But I don't get it. When it gets to be the season of all the spices, I go to the baking, not Starbucks. So going into this blind, when I looked for a recipe, my only real criteria was that it was a well-reviewed, positively reviewed recipe. This one I chose only because it had more of the spices than the other recipes, but I spent all of about 5 minutes doing this, so this is what I came up with. I will link this recipe below, but like I said, I can't vouch for whether it's a good or a bad recipe. It has 5 stars, so we're gonna trust that. Oh, and since we are approaching Halloween, not Christmas, of course we're going to make spooky gingerbread, which is way more fun anyway. So to give credit where it's due, I actually got the idea for making spooky gingerbread cookies from Black Friday, who did a video 2 or 3 years ago where she made spooky gingerbread cookies. I will also link her video below so you can check that out if you're on a spooky gingerbread kick. Alright, I have all of the ingredients already measured out because I have watched cooking shows in the past and I thought I would have an attempt at some semblance of professionalism. We'll see how that goes. Clearly this is not a studio kitchen situation. So 10 tablespoons of room temperature butter. You know what? Room temperature butter is still hard to work with. We're gonna melt it a little bit. Yeah, you got my foot. Thank you. Perfect. That is way better. It's no longer stiff. We're supposed to whip this on medium for a minute. What, little hand? Oh, you've never seen this work before. I usually don't use the mix master at all. I just do everything by hand. Little Catman is super fascinated. Are you getting nervous? Okay, that looks vaguely whipped. Next, we need 1 egg. And the vanilla, and we whip it on high for 2 minutes. Okay, and there we have it. The recipe says it's okay if the butter starts to separate. What does butter even separate into? Don't know. We're gonna take these beaters and set them aside. I don't think this is the right implement for this, so I've only got 2 implements. Now we've got 3½ cups of flour. Wait, did we miss the sugar? Not yet with the flour. Can you tell I haven't done this before? Beat until smooth and creamy. Add the brown sugar. And molasses. Don't lick that, dude. You don't lick the beater until we're done. Good job. And I measured out just a little bit extra with the molasses because cling factor. Here we go. I grew up with a Mixmaster from the 70s, and they don't make them the same. This is not nearly the same sturdy workhorse that its predecessor was. So now we're back to the flour. Now I know on cooking shows they have these nice little glass dishes with all of the ingredients measured out already. Again, not a cooking show. I do have these dollar store wine glass contraption things. Why not? Baking soda, salt, ginger, cinnamon, allspice, and cloves. And I think we just put it all together and combine it. So anyway, I think we're pretty mixed up there. Now we add in the wet ingredients. See, I didn't even need these. On low speed, slowly mix into the wet ingredients until combined. Okay, now we have a batter, not to be confused with being battered. And since I know way too much about raw eggs now, I'm not going to be licking beaters. Oh, childhood, always getting ruined. Next step, we need to get this ready to chill, firm up the butter. Well, you know, chilled so that it's firm so you can, why are my words not working? So you can roll it out into the shapes. The directions call for plastic wrap. I don't feel good about this. Plastic is toxic. But we're gonna follow the directions this time. But what did they do 100 years ago? They didn't have saran wrap back then. How did they chill their cookies? Probably on a snowbank if they didn't have a refrigerator. Now this is why I don't have rings on. Gotta get in here. We need this glob of dough to go into 2 even globs. And then we just pat these out into disc shapes. Oop, I think this one is noticeably bigger. Oh well. Okay, and now we just take these makeshift discs, patties, whatever they are, and refrigerate for 3 hours. So let's sneak these in here. And through the magic of video, we'll fast forward 3 hours. And we're back. How awkward was that? Did it work? So the next step is to roll them out, shape them, bake them. Let's see what we've got here. They're definitely firmer. Little bricks. Preheat to 350. Done. Or working on it. Hi! You gonna help? You helping me? This is not very sanitary. We need a generously floured surface. Which means my table is gonna need some work after this. Time to get messy. Roll this out. How are we gonna do this while it's all solid? 1/4 inch thick and cut into shapes. Here's what I'm thinking for shapes. Stars aren't very Halloween-y unless I could make them into pentagrams somehow. I don't have very many cookie cutters, and I do have these and I've never tried them, so you know what? We're deciding that they're spooky. And I do have a little black cat. We'll try it out and see what happens. A biscuit cutter here I can use to start a pumpkin and then kind of shape it. I've got a couple of other biscuit cutters that I'm going to use to make crescent moons. that's what we're working with. Nothing over ambitious. This is my first time with gingerbread. I don't know what I'm doing. We're just experimenting. So, what? What do you talk about, little man? What am I supposed to do to make this more malleable? This is... Okay, here we go. It's giving a little bit. I don't know, I almost think this would have worked better while it was warm. Or do we just work it until it warms up? This is weird. What do you think? I don't use the rolling pin very often, do I? Right now, this is a little bit more stubborn than pie dough as far as cracking, behaving weirdly. All right, it's a little thicker than 1/4 inch, but I'm feeling it. Let's start with a little kitty cat. Nope, I did that poorly. I did not go all the way through. Okay, you guys, it has been like a minute since I have used a cookie cutter, and by a minute, I mean probably several years. So, no worries, I know what I'm doing. I'll just... Oh, this poor table, I gotta be careful. Oh, we got a broken tail already, yeah. So we have our cat, and let's put it on the cookie sheet. I don't know why the recipe calls for parchment paper on the cookie sheet itself, but again, this is the first time I'm trying this recipe, so we'll play along. Probably could use some kind of pusher tool, get these out. Let's try a pumpkin. So I'm gonna start with a circle, much easier to cut out, by the way. So we're gonna make a pumpkin, so what I think we're gonna do is squish down the top while cutting in. That should be pumpkin enough, I think. Crescent moon. So first we start with the big circle, and then, boy, I don't know, like this. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna just nub these down just a little, even though it looks cool as sharp. I'm just not a fan of crispy parts of cookies. I gotta say, so far, kind of spooky. I don't know what to do with this shape. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is the leftover. I could make an eye out of this. Let's try it. Oh, we haven't tried any stars yet. Let's try some stars. This is weird for me. It's kind of like a cross between making sugar cookies and making pie dough. Now that I've made sugar cookies in a coon's age. All right, stars. I'm doing that right? Yes. And we have this sheet full, so we'll turn to the next one. But in the meantime, this one can go in the oven. 8 minutes was the recommended amount of time. Moment of truth. We'll see if that works better. Hey, that's my tomato. Don't be squashing my tomatoes. Yeah. I think I made a little pumpkin again by accident. That's all right. Pumpkins come in all sizes. Okay. This little pan is full. Whoa. Holy cow, those look like gingerbread cookies. What? I think that's legit. 8 minutes, looks like the right amount of time. So we gotta let those cool for a little bit before we can spread them out to cool. This batch isn't very huge. I'd say, depending on what your cooking eating tolerance is, if I were making these for more than just me, I would definitely want to do at least a double batch. Just gonna throw that out there. This is gonna be enough for me for a few days. Quick shift of a work surface. All right, here's our beauties that are finished. Okay, this parchment paper is pissing me off. My cookie scooping technique is being severely hampered by this paper. You know what? Experiment. I'm gonna try no parchment paper for the second run. Living dangerously. I think these are all gonna fit on here. Good. And I can put these in. These are a little bit more well done in this pan. I am gonna eat one of these. I am gonna be putting some frosting on these, but they have to cool before you do that. And there is no better way to eat a cookie than right out of the oven. Okay, these are not crunchy and hard, they're very soft. They're not super sweet, which is probably why you put the icing on them. Very much like ginger snaps. But the flavor's a little bit more complex because we have the allspice in there. I could totally wreck my diet on these. Absolutely. I don't think you want any, little man. You want to try some? I don't think cookies are good for kitties. But you can have a taste. He's not impressed. That's just as well. I don't know that you're supposed to have the spices that are in there. Okay, one more. Let me try it from the other pan. This one isn't an air bake pan, so it always leaves the bottom just a little bit scalded. Actually, these came out okay. I'm impressed. I wonder if the parchment paper had anything to do with that. These do swell up some, so I've got some of them that are touching each other. I probably should have spaced them out a little bit better. This parchment paper is really testing my patience. Let's go with a star. This came out of the other pan. A little bit more crispy. Still not bad. So let's see what happens with the no parchment paper. Then the next step will be to frost. So far so good. What happens if I try to take these off before they've cooled down a little bit? Nothing. The directions wanted me to wait 5 whole minutes. Okay, that's probably why, right there. Alright, well, wait a minute. I don't think there's any reason to use the parchment paper other than the fact that you don't have to wash your trays. Well, no, maybe not. There's some stick factor going on here. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, no, I walk it back. The parchment paper helps a lot with not sticking. This is no stick surface and it's still sticking. I don't know what that is. Less fat content in these cookies than in most cookies. You don't have to use the parchment paper, but it did actually make it easier to remove these non-sticking and intact. So, okay, I'll stop complaining about that. This is why we do the experiment, so we can learn. I gotta be super careful with it. So, okay, parchment paper made sense. Okay, we're gonna fast forward again till these have a chance to fully cool down to room temperature, and we will decorate. Okay, we're back and ready to frost cookies. Here's the thing. I own a set of cookie decorating tools. Bladder things. I've torn my kitchen apart and I can't find them. They must have gotten lost in the last move somehow. What I'm gonna do is try to use plastic bags and see if we can make this work at all. So the colors that we've got, white for the moon and parts of the eye. I tried to make black. I don't have black food coloring, so I just mixed all the colors together. It's kind of a dark blue, green for like the cat's eyes at least, orange for the pumpkins proper. Let's see how this works. Oh, this is gonna be messy. So far, not horrible. Got a tiny little bit off here. Ooh, I think that's too big. Okay. I'm not mad at it. Not the worst thing ever. Not amazing. Ooh, okay. Little hint of whiskers there. Yeah, it's a little more green than I wanted. But if I had prepared appropriately, I would have black food coloring. Okay, some of these whiskers are getting super, super thick. Oh, I know. Let's see if a toothpick can save the day a little bit. Not really. Oh, we're dripping. I've never been properly trained how to do this, can you tell? My whiskers are getting worse. Oh, those whiskers! I'm eating that cat last. No! Okay, this cat's starting to look a little inbred. See if I can make a tiny cut this time. Ooh, okay. I'm digging that. But, oh, they're so cute. So let's go after pumpkins. Green stems. In truth, these stems probably should have been brown, but I'm working with a limited color palette. Okay, let's make these eyes look like eyes. Ooh, I should leave the center blank for the pupil. These are some trippy eyeballs. I don't know if they're gonna look like eyeballs. Is that it for green? I think so. Okay, now with the pumpkins. Okay, cute, cute. Yeah, I don't know what those eyeballs are looking like, but they're not looking like eyeballs. I think this pumpkin is just sad. Running out of juice, and I don't want to mix more. Come on. Oh, we're running out. As much of a hard time as I'm having, these little plastic bags are actually working out. Fairly doable. Oh, some of these are looking a little goofy. Okay, I think we're done with black. Next is orange. Oh, you know, I think there's a trick to this that I just remembered. Yeah, it's a pretty good trick. Why my memory kicks in when I'm halfway through the colors. Let's see how we did. These are turning out a lot less spooky and a lot more cutesy. They're Halloween themed, but they're not very scary. Okay, not bad. Okay, messy, but not bad. Oh, such a sad little pumpkin. Like the eyes, the white. Alright, that's enough to start with. Okay, eyeballs. I'm not sure what these look like, but they don't look like eyeballs. Hey, they're gonna taste great. So, down to the moons and stars. Hey, pentagram's not so bad. Definitely more convincing than the eyeballs. They definitely look Halloween-y or witchy with the star actually drawn on them. Okay, moons. I'm not looking at. Let's try a different approach. Okay, yeah, I'm liking the zigzag drizzle better. Well, there we have it. Cookies. I should probably do something to make them look pretty. Let me just snazz things up just a little bit before we do our final taste test. So we've got our pentagrams, our black cats, jack-o'-lanterns, crescent moons, and eyeballs that they just didn't work out. I don't know. Let's sample. I'm gonna go ahead and eat the gimpy cat because I think this poor little cat just needs to be put down. It's a little too deformed. Hello, you gonna help me? Ooh. That little drizzle of frosting gives it that kick of sweetness that is not inherent in the cookies. This is good. This is really good. Like, they're soft. They're like ginger snaps, but more complicated. I may never make sugar cookies ever again. Okay, definitely a win. Very happy with these. I'm just sad that the eyeballs look like hypnotic footballs. So there we have it. Gingerbread cookies for Halloween. Kind of spooky, but more cutesy than anything, I admit it. I don't know. What do you think? I had a lot of fun doing this. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Happy Halloween. Happy Samhain. I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep your baking wild. Don't kick the light stands, you guys. What was I even gonna say? I will link this recipe, and that needs to move. And did I have other lights on? Oh, technical difficulties. Alrighty. Ooh, it got gross. Come on. What's the trick? There we go.